Hello, Justice Intermediate staff. This brochure is to help you understand the importance of safety in our community. Here are some safety reminders. Number one, we need to make sure all doors are shut and locked. This includes all classroom doors and exterior doors. For staff, once we are in a classroom, we need to shut the door and make sure the door is locked in the outside. We don't want anybody in the hallway coming into our classroom and being able to open the door. If a student is leaving your classroom, they need a pass that says what time they left and where they are going. This is to ensure the safety of all students in our building. We should not have students roaming the hallways. And if anybody needs to be in your classroom, we will be able to enter with a key of our own. Number two, student drop off. Students will enter through door 13. They will go through our metal detectors and then proceed to their morning class. This is the case for all students except for bus riders. Bus riders will enter through door 1, which is through the office. This way, the bus and the car riders can be separate, but bus riders will still have to go through metal detectors in door 1. So to reiterate, we will have metal detectors at door 13 and door 1, and you will go in through to door 13 if you are a car rider and door 1 if you are a bus rider. Once you go through metal detectors, then they will be able to come upstairs to your classroom. This is to ensure all students come into the school safe and free of any weapons that they might be carrying on them. Number 3, student pickup. Students will be picked up at door 13 at the end of the day, or they have to be picked up through the office, which is door 1. If they leave early, they need to be checked out through the office, and our secretary will handle the check-in and check-out. If they are just leaving at normal time being picked up, they will come down to the cafeteria, which is right by door 13. They will sit with their class, and they will wait for their name to be called. This is to ensure that we know who is leaving the building and at what time. And when we release responsibility, we know who we are releasing the responsibility to. Students cannot be picked up by anybody that is not on their contact form. So for the first week of school, when we come into school, we need to make sure that parents are signed up on the emergency contact form if they plan to pick up their child. This is to ensure that the release of responsibility is safe and effective for all students, and we are keeping students safe. Number 4, anytime we have early dismissal, students will have to be picked up through door 13. No student should leave through any other door. Some concerns that we might see with early dismissal is parents trying to pick up students through the elementary school and the intermediate school. This is a problem because we won't know students leaving and we won't have every student accounted for. It is important that we have every student accounted for and understand who is leaving and coming into our building. Having them go through door 13 makes it a confined area that we are having all students leave through, so we understand who is leaving and at what time they are leaving. Number 5, avoiding negligence through active supervision. These are problems we see on the playground during recess. That is the time where students are unsupervised in the most common area. We need to make sure we are avoiding any negligence and keeping students to the safe as they can be through active supervision. What that means is you are actively looking at all areas in which students are present. If you are in the playground area, you are walking around the playground area, you are looking at the swings. There's a bunch of areas that you need to pay attention to. If it is in a classroom, you're actively looking at the students. You're not having your back to the students for a extended period of time. We need to make sure all students are safe in their environment. Number 6, communication procedures. Teachers will communicate directly to admin, and then admin can communicate to families, or teachers can communicate to families. Uh, the first step is teachers communicating to admin. We need to make sure that teachers and admin are on the same page. And if it's a communication that needs to be from admin to the parents and families, admin will communicate that with the teachers. The open communication will make sure that every student is safe and we are not giving parents misguiding or misleading information. We want to make sure that the teacher is informed and the administration is informed on the same level. We also want to make sure families are receiving effective communication. If teachers and administration are on different communications, then they might get told different things. Number 7 is the importance of understanding risk in regards to safety. We want to make sure students are the safest that they can be in our school system. There is inherent risk that we take, especially being outnumbered by students. At Justice, we are outnumbered by about 20 to 1. We need to make sure all students are safe, even in areas that might be less supervised, such as recess and gym and lunch, where the ratio of students to teachers is a little different. At lunchtime, we average about 50 to 1 students to staff ratio. And number 8, we all share responsibility and the ability to lead. Understanding the safety procedures allows all of us to be able to lead our students to the safest possible outcome. If we have a fire drill, we need to be able to lead our students to be where they are at and where they're supposed to be. We all have a responsibility to keep all students safe in our building. It is not just my responsibility to keep all students safe. It is not just your responsibility to keep your classroom safe. It is your responsibility to keep all students safe in our school at all times. If there are any questions about this, please don't hesitate to reach out. The backside of your brochure just has 3 common scenarios that we're going to talk about relatively quickly. So the first is a school-wide medical situation, where EMS is required to be called, and let's say this is a situation that happens in your classroom. So the first step is to contact EMS immediately. Send one student to the office to get an administrator, and then extra staff will come and grab the rest of your class. The nurse will come and assist, but begin CPR if needed. If CPR is needed, do CPR while you are calling EMS. So you are all trained to do CPR. Start CPR early if it is needed, and the nurse can take over if you feel uncomfortable. But if you feel uncomfortable, we have to have that talk because you are certified in CPR, and I expect you to be able to do it if needed. Our second situation is the breakdown of heating and air to the point where it is unsafe conditions for our students. So contact your administrator immediately. The administrator will locate your classroom if it is isolated to one wing of the building. Let's say the east wing is unsafe for our students, we will locate to the west side. Please plan for e-learning assignments if it is something that we can't relocate. If school is unsafe, we will hold virtual classes online like the COVID days. We will still expect students to complete 1 hour of class per day per subject. This will be a combination of asynchronous and synchronous meetings, and we will have a flyer that would communicate that coming out in the later weeks. The last thing is the fire drill. So for a fire drill, you need to make sure you understand how to get to where you need to go. You need to understand where you need to go no matter what room you are in and where you are at in our building. So gather students in a single file line to the nearest exit. Take attendance and make sure all students are accounted for. If they are, signal to your administrator and let them know. They will be at each door. Please understand the quickest way you can get out of the building. If a student is missing and you're not accounted for with your student, please let the administrator at the door know immediately so they can radio and we can get that student accounted for. This is important to make sure all students are out of the building, whether it's a drill or a real fire. making sure all students are out of the building and accounted for. If you need to take attendance sheet out, that is fine. If you need to take anything out, please do so. Thank you.